the lineage of the tree of life of their family. And this is how we learn to respect each other, recognizing this it's a fact that everyone in this call, you represent all your ancestors, millions of them, and endless, long list, hundreds and thousands of years ago. And if everyone can, have this same understanding of who and what we are, as what our sovereignty represents, that would be, we learn to really, learn to love and respect one another, because we are not so individualized in our mind, or localized in our mind. We are always understanding that we have a deep root within us that goes back thousands of years, and a lot of people tend to forget about that reality. That it's a fact, that you are not just you, this embodiment of you. You are all your ancestors combined into a person. And if people can learn this and remember that everyone on the planet is going to be viewed as as the what I would call Itoke, or the owner of this planet, because of this genealogy. But since we are so in this new system, in the education system, we are programmed to only realize this identity that we are born with here now, and we tend to forget. This is why we disrespect each other. This is why we don't learn. We don't understand that we are part of one bigger family. Maybe maybe 2,000-3,000 generations ago, we will all be 100 or even whatever number that we can be. We come from one single person, and this is the awareness that people has forgotten. And, and from our perspective, from what I would call our native tribe perspective, we see the planet as one with us. And naturally, if everyone realizes this, for example, what we are talking about here is what we value as humanity or as people. No, it's not what the air and the sun and all. This is not their value. Every single awareness that we try to assume that is bad or that is good, that is coming from our perspective as humanity, as human beings, because we have this awareness, and we base everything thinking that the whole entire planet is centered around us, but it's ultimately not. It's not the case. Everything is we are just part of a different lesson that all the system of the planet are learning differently in unity. And so we have the story of what we are as humanity, what the animals, what the water, all these are all cycles that are happening together. And because we have free will, we are able to actually learn when we make different decisions. And ultimately, if when we are not actually destroying the planet, we are actually destroying our livelihood on this planet, and that's basically what we're doing, because it's all in our mind. It's all centered on humanity. It's not we're making decision or making awareness. For example, if you are dumping, if we're taking out if you're taking out rubbish, and you have plastics, and you have all the materials that we have isolated, like plastics and all this. Where do you think we can get these materials from? We didn't get it from anywhere else outside the planet. We just isolated on the planet. So even if we isolate all the different materials and we think we are damaging the planet, we are all making decisions inside the entire agreement of the planet. So if I'm translating, if I create plastic out of this and I dump it there, I'm not destroying the planet. I'm just shifting the land or the part of the planet from one point to another. But I'm destroying my livelihood, because I'm polluting the air that I breathe, the land that I use. But this is not. This is the reality is what we create as humanity. And so the planet, the planet is like our mother, and we can create within that reality. That whatever we choose, that will affect us. It's not going to affect the planet. The reality is that we are creating with the planet, and we are valuing every illusion or every things we create. For example, all the metals. This is just part of the planet. We just remove it from where it was in the land, and we create cars, we create buildings, and we create this, and we say it's rubbish, and these are all values of human beings. However we put it, we are the one causing ourselves the problems, and it's not we are not causing the planet. Ultimately, if you understand, if you if you're able to connect to the planet, um, she's she's very benevolent, and she's waiting for you to realize how you can balance yourself and then work together with with what what she represents. So ultimately, rubbish and all these that you think is bad is not bad for the planet. It's bad for you. It's bad for the people. And we did it. We did it ourselves. And if we stop, the planet will regenerate itself so easy, because it will every displacement that we've used on top of the planet, we have been using Mother Earth. We've been using the land. We've been using plastics, metals, whatever whatever glasses, and all this. This we bring this and we took it out from the planet, and we destroyed our living. Especially what I call, we destroy it because we we try to create profit and create money out of it, which is another level of the delusion. So ultimately, it is our own reality that we are destroying, and whatever we create that reality for us, that's whatever decision that we make in generations to come. uh, the last few decades, some different values, and it just causes us to actually lose focus on what is very important. And um, and this is this is something that everyone has to understand. And especially when it at this special time that we are now talking about restoration, and restoring ourselves, and re-understanding the balance that we must have within ourselves to balance with the planet. And uh, and together we'll be able to unite, and we'll be able to decide what we are doing. Is it bad for me, for my environment, ultimately, which is we refer to it as the planet. And so yeah, we are one with the planet, and whatever we do, we it will affect our own whatever they did in 100 years ago, whatever whatever problems. If we stop focus on the illusion of money and profit, and we focus on our own balance, the the planet will be able to restore itself really easily. We can take out all and we restore our own reality the way it was it's affecting us. And it's for example, we have what you call global here in the Pacific, they say there's island uh, coming under sea because the sea level is rising. But it's not really, if we look around and they try to make that a project where, oh, we are we destroyed our own planet, and we are almost sinking, and we're all sinking. We want $100 billion to come and save us, and they make this a business. But ultimately, there are ships all over the place. They're dumping land into the sea, and they expect the sea not to rise, and thinking that it's caused by global um, climate. But it's not climate change. It's just people. We are the one changing our reality. So if you want to restore it, we have to restore ourselves and restore what we do, and it will just reverse itself. But if we focus on that outside, uh, we'll create a lot of damage, more damage. All the rubbish that it's all these words like destroyed, like rubbish, like bad, like good. This doesn't exist. It exists only on the people, because they're the one creating all these values. If people understand that this reality is not based on basically you alone, and it's ultimately waiting for you to wake up. And this is why this special time is happening, because you might not. I'll share this because we're talking about what you call the soul. there's certain amount of period of time where the soul blinks, like just like the eye. I have to blink. We're reaching another blink, spiritual blink that's happening. That's spiritual clearing. That's why we're doing this restoration, and that's why we're doing this talk, these shows. And I count it, it's a blessing and an honor to be here and be sharing about it, because blink is already here, and we're inside the blink where the restoration has to happen. And this is where all the system comes together to try and reset everything and realign the misalignment. And so it's truly wonderful to be, talking and sharing this with you at this particular, at this junction time. And yeah, it will restore itself if we stop everything, if we realize and maintain our balance. This is why we're discussing this. It will regenerate. People can see the example. When COVID-19 happened, in big towns and cities like India, where you have pollution every day, air pollution, you can't see anything through. As soon as people stop doing anything they're doing, economy, all these illusions that they created, the air starts cleaning itself, the dust settles, the cycles or the natural cycles of things started happening, and a lot of the climate that is changing right now is actually to try and balance all those negative or what you call all those imbalances that we have committed in the past. And so that's how you have hurricanes, you have storms, you have water, you have all this to try and rebalance. And the planet is doing it for us. It knows that we've been so naughty. It's trying to adjust itself so that we can still maintain and have a chance to change and to create a change. And so it's very, very special that we're talking about restoration. Yes, it will heal itself. We will heal ourselves together. Yes. We are not on a planet. You are the planet. I will set you an example. Here in Fiji, we have what you call the ley lines that transfers the life force from all over the planet, from the center of what I call the soul of the planet to the rest of every living things on our land. We call it in our language mana. The mana is separated. So there are times when this mana has a pulse, has a breathing, and so this is when the cyclone has to happen, because the living things needs to be rebirth anew. And so it's just like breathing, just like you're sitting, you will be using up the energy, and then you breathe out, and then there's a new set of a life of your, it's like you eat. So all these cycles, the planet also goes through it, and our native tribes have all learned to move with it and be one with it. And so it doesn't hurt us, only when you are separated from who you are, then you get a shock. Oh, it's a cyclone. And we think, but in the past, they'll be waiting for the cyclone because it's going to rebirth the whole new sets of plants that they're going to want to plant, and the fish in the sea, and all this. It's a breathing, a living life, full of life, full of